Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tottenham Tantrum Gold. I'm joined today by Ben. Welcome
Morning.
aboard, mate. We're looking forward a little quick show about the FA Cup. Tottenham versus Morecambe today. What do we think the FA Cup should mean to the club right now? And talking points of what it's going to need to see us getting trophies again. The FA Cup used to be ours, didn't it? Well, that's the show today. So, Ben, how are you this morning?
Doing all right. Looking forward to another good FA Cup run in our dreams, but hopefully we can get at least a result today and get the ball re-rolling after a disappointing performance in midweek and set us up for the next performance in midweek as well. Hopefully we can really get some momentum back in this team and show that we are a good team. And Wednesday was possibly a one-off, but we need to get back into winning ways.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, mate. Do you think we're going to field a weakened team, though? That's the big question. I mean, obviously, second leg of the cup against Chelsea coming up again. Do we need to keep some of our star players wrapped in cotton wool for that?
I mean, we're going to be without Sonny today because Sonny is now out injured for a month. So we're going to have to get some of those players that haven't played into some sort of match fitness. So whether we play a Stevie Bergwijn or Lucas Moura in the 3-5-2 formation is all up in the air, really. But we need to get some minutes back in some of those legs that haven't played. And if nobody knows if Eric Dyer's able to play, if he's still got COVID or whatnot. So if he's fit and ready to go, we need to get him in the team just to shake off those cobwebs.
Yeah, indeed. I'm just going to I'm going to start up a quick match. We've got a little treat from back in 1982. And it's the FA Cup semi-final, Spurs against Leicester. We'll have that running in the background like normal. Quick big up to some of the people in chat again. Wayne Bonner, good of you to join us again, mate. He's saying the road to glory has begun. The FA Cup's coming home where it belongs. I certainly hope so. We've got a bit of catching up to do now, unfortunately. That used to be our trophy, as said before. Good 30 years since we've had that. It's just wrong. We want that. Premier Hotspur TV, afternoon, mate. Afternoon, guys. Hope you're all good. Come on, you Spurs, 100%, mate. We just need a good, comfortable, feel good sort of window today, don't we? He carries on with, I think there's some big changes today, Kuva. I think there'd have to be, it would be, do we even risk Harry Kane? I mean, with Sonny out, there's no natural cover up front. I mean, don't even have Bergwijn available, do we? He's still injured.
Is he? Well, he's not playing then.
I think Bergwijn's got a calf injury still or something like that. We'll see though. Things can change quickly. Wayne Bonner, I've already said hello to Wayne, but good to see you here, he's saying to Premier. And afternoon, Pat. And Paul Brown, good of you to join us, mate. Kuva, Ben, all in the chat, afternoon. Wayne saying, I'd like to see Harvey White and Devine given a chance. What do you think to that, Ben?
Yeah, they need to get some minutes in them because if we play some of the fringe players of the team that haven't been performing all season, we'll lose today. But if we give Harvey White and Devine an opportunity, they'll take it with both hands, I reckon. There needs to be all guns blazing today. I know it's only Morecambe. I don't even know what division they're in. Are they in League One or League Two?
Yes, League One, I think. I think they're struggling near the foot of it at the moment, if I remember rightly.
Dr. Tottenham will see you now.
Yeah, it's a worry, isn't it? If the team we field's too weak, you could see it happening again. But then again, we're at home. I think that makes a massive difference.
Yeah, it does.
It takes a lot of the banana skin factor out of it. I agree, though, Wayne. It would be nice to see some of those youngsters given a chance. Some of them are just oozing talent. They just need to have a bit of a showcase for it. We've got a habit of not trusting youngsters enough. I've always thought with the club. especially league games. So you see them in other clubs that coming through at late teens straight into the team, no worries at all. With us, we seem to be reluctant. I don't know why it is, but it's been the case for a while now.
I just don't think we don't have quality leaders in that team that are going to Sherpa those players through. So you could play a Joe Gomez because he's got Virgil van Dijk next to him. You can play what's his name, Harvey Elliott in that Liverpool team because he's got a serial pro like James Milner or Fabinho next to him.
Steve Perryman on from the other night, he was even saying about Glenn Hoddle. He instantly sort of thought he's going to take him under his wing a little bit, just to give him a bit of guidance. And well, we've seen the result there. It can be done, and it should be done if the player's got enough talent.
It goes back to responsibility. He talked about responsibility a lot, and there's a lack of responsibility in this football team at the moment, and they need to bring that back.
Does seem to be. There was a interesting discussion they were having on Irish Hotspur a little bit before us this morning. And one of the points being brought up was perhaps it's the lifestyles of the players nowadays. It doesn't lend itself to players' professionalism. They're not focused on the sport so much. It's because there's so much else going on, and it's such an easy sort of thing to lifestyle they have, rather than having to graft for it and make them mark.
Yeah.
It's all on a plate. Perhaps there is something to that. Premier saying I want Brian Hill to be given a big chance today because I think the guy's got a good future. He does seem to have a lot of talent. If we're throwing him in at the deep end too much at the moment, I don't know. But I mean, why buy him if he's not good enough for the team? That would make it a typical sort of Levy signing, as we always say, the promising youngster who just want to get some extra value and sell them on. It would certainly be a good game for him to play, wouldn't it? Be interesting to see if he does get a chance.
He's quick. He'll be very good against League One defenders. I don't think they'll be able to touch him, especially if they play him in his natural left wing position. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen an orthodox left winger in a long time in the Premier League from any team, really. He seems to be the first one in a while that plays on the left as a left footer. And he really likes that position. But he's never really been given that chance under Conte in his position because he likes inverted wingers. But I'd like to see him play in his natural position.
Yeah, it's a very rare thing, but occasionally you can get somebody playing an inverted winger, even though their natural foot's on the outside. If you catch the drift, I'm trying to think of one in particular, but Hill could be that one. He's certainly got the talent anyway. Be nice to see him given a chance. I agree with that. How many youngsters would we put in the team just for today, though? I mean, the obvious one I think would look at resting would have to be Harry Kane, because we can't be without a senior centre forward. I mean, with Son out, there's no natural cover because he has done that in the past. And as I said, if Bergwijn's out as well, we're looking at Lucas Moura. There's not a lot else that can really do that role at all. Bit of a struggle for Lucas Moura at times as well. But we'll see. We'll see. How many youngsters do you think we would risk, Ben? We're going to see full spread changes across the board, or sort of integrate with the senior pros as well?
I mean, we can't make too many changes, otherwise the team will look weird. We need to have a couple coming in just in relative positions, like maybe centre midfield. We could risk Alfie Devine. I think he's a left centre midfielder, Alfie Devine. But we can't make like too many changes in defence because we can't, like, against a team like Morecambe, they're going to be ready and raring for it. We need to be somewhat stable. It all depends who's fit at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's talk of Eric Dyer being available again. For me, he's got to play, really.
Yeah, just to get some cobwebs off of him.
Yeah, and it gives everybody else a chance, even if they're not an experienced player playing alongside him. He is now a senior pro, and despite a few mistakes, he's been having a very solid season for us. He's a very important player now. So yeah, that would certainly steady the ship a bit. How about the likes of Højbjerg in midfield? I mean, if we've got some youngsters playing, it's good to have the sort of experienced somebody to hold the the ship steady while the others, the youngsters, can showcase their skills. Do you think that's a Højbjerg, or do you think perhaps we'll see Skip? Skippy's a very young player himself, really.
I'd like to see Skip given a rest because he's played a lot of games as a youngster, and if he gets an injury at this time in his career, an injury will ruin his career because his body still hasn't fully developed yet. It's just from a scientific point of view. So maybe Højbjerg, but Højbjerg probably needs a rest as well. Both of them need a rest. They've played a lot this year.
That's the trouble, isn't it, mate? Lots of people talking about Højbjerg needing a rest from the start of the season.
Yep.
So, do you think we'd risk that today? It's quite a gamble then. Perhaps put them on the bench.
It might be a game for Tongi and Ndombele using his imposing strength. If he can even play for 5 minutes, it might be a game for him just to get some confidence back in. It's the perfect really game for him if he can hold on to the ball and sort of show how much quality he has. But I just don't trust him. I don't think the manager trusts him. We don't trust him. I don't think his mum trusts him at this rate.
Should be a walk in the park for a player like him, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should.
So,
I mean,
he should be banging in a couple of goals and really enjoying himself. But it'd be interesting if he does play and it's another flat performance. You know exactly the caliber of the player then, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we'll see. Interesting when the lineup does come out. Should be announced fairly soon, I believe.
3 minutes.
Be very eager to see that. What have we got here? Ryan McFarland, good of you to join us again, mate. He said no, he agrees with you, Wayne. White and Devine to get some minutes. Yeah, I think we'd all be fairly comfortable with that, wouldn't we?
It all depends if Ryan Mason's on the phone to Mr. Conte saying this boy needs a place. That's the reason you have someone like Ryan Mason, because he knows those players like the back of his hand, of being the coach of them last year and the year before.
Yeah.
He knows those players. So maybe you can give somewhat of an insight into where they should be playing and how they can fit in the new system.
Absolutely. Premier Hotspur TV, the reason you see young talent coming to the first team action, just because you look at the quality of some of these big teams examples, Foden and Palmer at City. True, but doesn't it? I mean, we always say that our academy's so good. Yeah, where do all the players seem to go? It seems more of a rarity that we get some of our academy players coming into the first team. I mean, it does happen. I mean, obviously Tanganga and Skippy, for example, but it does seem a lack of it. We tend to buy in players even when it's just a youthful sort of prospect, and then hope to get more out of them. I mean, Jack Clark's the biggest example of that. He's surely got to be. I mean, seems like a complete waste of time and money for the player and the club. But I've heard he's making some promising performances in the under-23s lately. So who knows? Maybe he's just had a bit of a slow start. Perhaps we'll wait and see on those sort of players. Let's just block a spammer there. And Paul Brown saying, Ari, Brian Hill gives you that out of your seat in anticipation feeling on the ball, Gaza-esque at times. Yeah, we've been lacking it for so long now. We forget that these sort of flair players do exist. It is definitely one to keep an eye on. And yeah, he's got to play today, hasn't he, Ben?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, we do need to see some of that. I mean, full game, it'll do him a world of good getting a full 90 minutes. Just
to get some muscle in him as well, just to get those legs moving, see what it's really like to play, see what he's like against a more physical outfit. I mean, we've seen that he's quality. He played really well at the Olympics, so I don't see why he can't do well against a Morecambe in the FA Cup. It's just like, give him a go.
Do you think there's a sort of feeling of players can't fit into the British game nowadays? Because I think it's surely less and less than we have that feeling. I mean, the likes of when Modric, when he came in, he was a very sort of slight player. There were concerns about him making it with the physical aspect of the game. But look what happened there. So same with Hill, perhaps.
That's why you got to get him on sort of on the left wing position, out of the. What did Mr. Perryman call it? Out of that congestion of the midfield, he used it a lot. When you're outside of that bubble of the spin dryer, I'm going to call it. You have so much of a more of an outlook on what's going on.
I don't think we want the adverts on, do we? Let's see if I can skip past that.
That was a great best bidder I saw. I was just wonder if that still exists.
Yeah, I thought I'd just better wind on past them in case that somebody's going to throw up a copyright or issue or something. Well, not copyright, but advertising thing. Right, we've done Paul's comments. Premier Hotspur TV again said, I mean, look at the players these youngsters are training with on the training ground. It's much better than us guys. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's going to raise your game naturally just playing alongside them.
Yeah.
That's also the reason that I'd love to see the sort of really quality midfielders come in, so Skippy's development really stays on track. See some really special players around him. I don't think it's going to be doing a lot of good when he realises he's the preferred choice because the others aren't putting a shift in. And Ndombele's he's surely going to be bad for Skip. It's no sort of role model player, and that's what you really need for your youngsters.
Yeah.
Harry Kane back at his best, and Sonny. That's the sort of player you look up to. Right. Anyway, game wise, we're still waiting on team news.
It's not appeared yet.
In which case, in the meantime, I'll give a quick big up to our mate Simon at Duck Drive 1 for video footage again. As I said, this is the FA Cup semi-final in 1982. Spurs taking on Leicester City. And some big names there. I'm going to put the team up because these are household names, a lot of these players.
I do have the team.
You do have the team.
I do have the team.
I shall put the other team up for this one while we're doing that. Okay, fire away then, Ben.
In goal is Pierluigi Gallini. At right wing back, we have Matt Doherty. Right centre back is Japhet Tanganga. Centre back is Joe Rodon. Left centre back is Ben Davis as captain, the skipper today. Left wing back is Ryan Sessegnon. We have a midfield three of Giovanni Lo Celso, Harry Winks, and Dele. And we have Ndombele and Brian Hill. So whether we're playing 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, Dele might be the false number 9 today. We might just be playing 3-4-3 with Dele as the false number 9.
I'm trying to picture that at the moment. Sorry, can you do the midfield three again?
Winks as the base of the midfield with Dele and Lo Celso, and with Ndombele and Brian Hill. So
really, we're playing with no recognised forward at all.
Yeah, basically.
That's an interesting one. Perhaps Hill as the sort of floating live wire up top, and then Ndombele to throw in a few tricks and little bits of skill in and around the box. So it's an interesting one, That's very Barcelona.
I don't know about Gallini in the team. Hopefully he can actually catch something today.
And Rodon, who was expecting to see him in the team.
Rodon's perfect for this sort of game. Get him in the base of that three. Just only doing just defending, and let the other two boys distribute the ball. I'd like to see what he can do today. See if he can keep a clean sheet. Let's see if this is his last hurrah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, paid not an inconsiderable amount of money for him. So let's get at least something out of him. Right. Premier Hotspur TV saying, all right. That's what I mean, Kuva. We need some serious quality coming in to drive the young players into the first team. Because apart from Son and Kane, who else can these youngsters look up to? I suppose, well, there's the likes of Hugo, Romero. I mean, for professionalism, you've still got to say the likes of Ben Davis, Eric Dyer. They do actually put the effort in. They're always trying their best, even when it wasn't going so well for them. At least they're showing the way. You do actually put your self on the line a bit for it. But skill wise, I agree, mate. There's very few you'd pick out and say that's who you should be. Lucas Moura may be another one because he's got bags of skill and he's always trying his heart out. Yeah, compared to City though, City are going to just develop these youngsters at a quicker rate because they got experience. They get so much exposure to that sort of level of quality. City have got just world class players all over the team and the squad, haven't they? Even their reserve team is going to look better than most Premier League teams. I don't think we're quite in that boat, though, are we? But let's try and at least do our best. So I agree. Yeah. Ben, looking at that team sheet today, how would you expect the game to go?
I think we'll control midfield, since the entire team is midfielders. So surely we should control the ball today. It's whether the players like Hill and Ndombele can create the space to score some goals. I mean, I'm happy to see Sessegnon back in the team, because it means Reggie gets a bit more of a rest, and hopefully Sessegnon can now get over his hamstring issues. But it's a bit of a worry that he keeps on getting these hamstring injuries. I'd like to see Dane Scarlett come on in the second half, just to see what he does in this Tottenham team and how he can do. But it's good that Kane's only on the bench, though. We need to rest some of our players like Højbjerg and Skippy.
We do. Another train of thought would have been perhaps you start off with a strong team, build up a comfortable lead, and then rest the players. But perhaps this is the way. Put a bit of responsibility onto these players that are perhaps deemed as misfits or fringe players at the moment. Just see if they can do something, even if it's to put themselves in the shop window again for a move away if they need it. It's beneficial to everybody for them to play well. I'd be very interested to see how they're going to work with this midfield style, because if you compare it to Barcelona when they were doing it, the old sort of almost a 3-7-0 formation at times against some teams, it was absolutely incredible. But have we got the players for that? There's skill amongst some of them, but who do you see? Have we got anybody that's sort of a natural way of stretching the opposition defence? Somebody that's going to run in behind? Because I don't see anybody there that's springs out for that sort of thing. Do you think Hill's going to play a very advanced sort of role?
I think so, yeah. I'm hoping the fullbacks really have a good game today. Doherty in his natural position of right wing back. You would hope he's extending further beyond their defence and getting in the box. That's what you'd hope for him to do, because that's what he's good at. For the most part, that's what we've seen him being good at. So maybe he can be a bit more advanced today and get some heads on the ball.
Perhaps that is it. Somebody looking to sort of drop in on that right-hand side and cover him when he does go forward. Otherwise, do you worry about at the back? Tanganga, obviously, he's had some problems lately. Joe Rodon not been playing at all. Do you think that's a hindrance, or do you think that perhaps there'll be a bit of hunger shown there today, because we're playing all due respect to Morecambe, but a much lesser opposition? Perhaps that's their time to shine and just remind us that they're Premiership footballers and they can dispatch this team easily.
Well, Rodon and Davis play together all the time for Wales, so there's no what's it called? They should be able to play well together. They've played well before for Wales. They should be able to bring that consistency. They've got that partnership already struck. It's whether Tanganga can... Well, he's back in his normal position, which is a good thing. Maybe he can have a better game today and sort of put behind him that absolute nightmare of a performance he had in midweek and show that he is a quality player. And he's going to be at the races today, because this Morecambe team is probably going to be a very physical outfit. So maybe having a more physical defence will be good, as long as they don't lose their heads early in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's all positives we should be taking from this game. How do you think they'll react if we do go down to, say, a freak goal? Who's the leader you'd look to on the pitch then?
Well, Davis seems to be the leader because he's the captain today. He's been chosen as the captain. But maybe someone like a Harry Winks can drive that team forward, because he's got his arse on the line. If he can't perform against a team like Morecambe, it's really the end of him. He's been playing well in the last few weeks. So as that midfield dynamo, that midfield metronome, he's got to have to push his team forward. He's going to have to drive the team forward. Yeah,
I agree with that. As you mentioned, there should be a bit of a sort of, I think synergy is the right word, isn't it? With Rodon in the middle. Hopefully that rubs off as well. Tanganga will be relaxed then, because he'll see the sort of comfortable partnership there alongside him. Because he definitely needs to recover from what happened to him as well. We don't want these players sort of falling away with turning into a bag of nerves because one result's wrecking their career. We want them just bouncing back comfortably. Could be an ideal game for Tanganga. Premier Hotspur TV saying, I've been to the likes of City and even Everton academies with my boy, and seriously, the way they are drilled and brought on is another level, guys. That's as compared to ours. Do you think is that the worry? That's that what you were hinting at earlier, Premier? I wonder.
Everton aren't showing it though because they're shocking at the moment.
They could have some very good talent coming through in the future, though. You can't tell at the moment, can we? He also continues, and I'm liking the lineup, guys. It's a big game for all these players because if they can't get up for this game today, then they should give up, guys. Yeah, got to agree. In a lot of ways.
Yeah, like
sorry,
Giovanni Lo Celso, like this should be his game. He should be able to run rings around them. If he can't run rings around them as the box to box midfielder, then he's just got to go, doesn't he?
He does. Same for a lot of them. As Premier Hotspur was saying, they should just give up if they can't do it today. I'll keep thinking as well. It's putting yourself in the shop window. If you don't want to be at the club, you at least use it for that. Anyway, either way, there's no excuse for not putting in a performance. Just ridiculous, isn't it? So let's have something. We should be absolutely tearing this team apart. Kane or no Kane, Sonny or no Sonny. There's enough talent there. Anyway,
I'm trying to see if it's a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, but I can't seem to get the team sheet.
Yeah, well, it's guesswork anyway, isn't it? They don't really need to disclose how the team's going to line up. We can only guess. It does sort of reek of a sort of Barcelona type tactic, doesn't it? Well, you think can we get the best out of Dele Alli doing that? I don't know. We'll wait and see. He's certainly not a natural forward by himself. Neither's Hill. It could be interesting. It could be a complete disaster if we're not careful, but we'll see. Conte's got to have worked on something.
It could be equally brilliant as well because he's if they're constantly moving, these Morecambe defenders might not know who's to mark.
It's true. At the end of the day, you would expect to see quality will shine through at the end, but it doesn't always work out that way. That's what we love about the FA Cup, isn't it? Home advantage, that's the bit that swings it for me. That removes that banana skin element for me. But we'll see.
You didn't see that with Newcastle and Cambridge United yesterday.
The Newcastle squad's so bad you'd question it anyway, really, wouldn't you? Yeah, I mean, what must Trippier be thinking? Just signed for them and then watch them get knocked out of the FA Cup.
He didn't watch; he played.
Well, yeah, I mean, was he just watching in disbelief?
Yeah, I think 300 grand a week is a sweetener for that deal.
Yeah, I think so. You think he went back there purely for the payday then? Because I certainly thought, yeah. Mind you, I suppose it's sensible if you're a player coming towards the end of your career. Why not have one big payday? Because, I mean, set up for the rest of your life then, aren't you? Newcastle retirement home for ex players at the moment then.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps. Premier, he's replying to me. Coover, I'm aiming at our academy, mate. Just seems different levels how the academies are coached, and Everton have got some serious talent coming, and so has Liverpool as well. That's a bit of a worry, mate, isn't it? I wonder what sort of underlying reasons we got for it. Is it perhaps the fact we're in London? That everybody's fighting for every talent available in London. I mean, even West Ham are getting some players coming through in the academy. When you look at the likes of Declan Rice,
they got him through Chelsea. He didn't come through the West Ham academy. He came from Chelsea.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But again, snapping up each other's players from their academies. Is ours failing us? Good question. That's always been the weird bit for me. Over the years, people raving about how good our academy is, but then you look at the amount of players that really come through. It's not many. We tend to say goodbye to them after we've bigged them up for a while. I mean, look at the likes of Tom Carroll. He was supposed to be the next big thing, and just didn't work out that way.
It just never bulked up. Never. It was always a twig. I don't even know if he's still playing. He must be at Swansea still, right? Let's have a look. I mean,
I think he probably is. Yeah. Troy Parrott as well.
Troy Parrott.
Although too early to say with him, but I mean, he's getting hailed as the next big thing, and he hasn't really played enough to work out what his best role is. I think perhaps he's just starting to get the grips with it now. He's scoring a few goals now. Perhaps it is that sort of role. But I mean, at times you're thinking perhaps he's going to be a number 10 rather than a number 9. And
he's not bulky enough. He's not tall enough. He's not bulky enough to be a natural number 9. I haven't seen a natural number 9 come from the Tottenham ranks in a long time.
Oh God, yeah, you're right there. That Harry Kane was very much the one of a kind. He was one in a generation, perhaps, for the academy.
Yep.
Otherwise, yeah, as you said, the team today, it's going to be an interesting one. Are we going to just see this ridiculously overcrowded midfield and us doing the Barcelona, just short passing our way through, or is it going to be a little bit more structured? I don't know.
If Morecambe are playing a low block, that ultra heavy midfield might work for us because we might be able to drag them out of position.
Plus, they're not. Yeah, you're right. They won't know who to mark, will they?
So, with our fullbacks being quite pacey, well, Doherty's not pacey, but he gets up the pitch enough of the time. Maybe he's just going to be more of an advanced fullback all the time because seem to have a solid base in midfield if we're playing 3 in midfield. But I don't if we're playing 3 or we're playing 2. Who knows?
Hard to tell. I suppose the thing with Doherty as well, he's got a bit of aerial presence as well. He's not a little lad, so that's going to help up front too. So yeah, we've got to see him playing more like he did at Wolves, haven't we? Today is really getting in the box. Could suit him this game. Could make him shine. Guys, good of you to join us, mate. Time for Hill to shine today. Let's hope so. I think we're all sort of hoping for something like was mentioned earlier. He's that one that can get you up out of his seat and just have a little bit of excitement, a bit of flair happening on the ball. Premier Hotspur TV again. Now living up north, I've seen difference in quality in youngsters and coaching. It's unbelievable. I have even been to Manchester United as well, and that's scary as well. That's interesting. That really is interesting. It's a bit worrying as well. Are we neglecting our academy, or is it just a sort of lack of raw talent coming through the gates, or is it the coaching side of it? I can't answer it myself.
I mean, hopefully that's Paratici's next. As soon as he's sorted out the first team and get the players the manager wants, maybe that's the next course of action is to prepare the academy for the coach after Conte, to prepare a proper structure for the academy.
My Premier Hotspur TV, we might have to coax you into coming onto the channel one day and have a little chat about that. It sounds like there's a lot more to it than you can get out in a few sentences on the screen. Right. How far do we see Brian Hill going then? If he shines today again and people are going to be clamouring, why doesn't he start all the time again? Do we think he's likely to go out on loan in this month, or is he just the sort of game where he forces himself into first team reckoning for the rest of the season?
It's whether he performs today. He already looks a player. The games I've seen him play, he looks quick, he looks agile, he glides over the turf like an Eriksen or a Modric used to. It's whether he's got that ability to make that clinical pass. Because that's why I don't really see him as a winger in terms of, I know that is his position and that's probably where he wants to play. But we don't play with wingers anymore. So he's going to have to play in that sort of Eriksen number 10 role, drifting off the left or the right into the central positions and making something. It's whether he can create that integral pass that gets us a goal.
Or maybe getting the goal himself. I mean, he's obviously got the technical ability for it, certainly. I think we just come to the end of the match now. I'll take that one off for the moment. Is he going to step up? There's a lot of players we're asking the question of today. The bench, I haven't seen today's bench. Was it packed with the youngsters, perhaps?
I can get that up again.
Don't worry, mate. I can have a look as well in a minute.
Lloris, Sanchez, Paskotsky, I don't know who that is, Emerson, Skip, Højbjerg, Lucas, Dane Scarlett, and Harry Kane. So it's a decent bench.
Right. It's pretty much strength. Couple of youngsters, and otherwise it's the emergency squad there, isn't it? If things are going bit tits up at half time, you can imagine a few of them coming on. Otherwise, perhaps the full 90 minutes, what we've got there, and just rest the legs of those ones on the bench. Alex again. Hello, mate. How's it going? And here he goes on from the other night. Steak will hopefully score at least one more than the Morecambe tomorrow.
I'd like to know what he's taking to get him that much energy.
I don't know. It's Alex for you. I mean, I don't.
Seven bottles of Coke.
Perhaps it's a sugar rush. Right.
This says we're playing 3-4-3 with Winkson and Ndombele as the midfield two, and Lo Celso, Ali, and Gil as the front three. So that's interesting. It's whether
also in the front three. Interesting.
It's whether he can be that engine room, whether he's going to be dropping into midfield when we don't have the ball. It's just that.
Perhaps he'll be playing more as a number 10.
Yep.
Yeah, could be. And Ndombele up front. That's an interesting choice, though, isn't it?
And Ndombele is the with Winks in midfield.
Oh, sorry. Who was it? So it's Hill and Lo Celso and...
Hill, Lo Celso and Ali up front.
And Ali, yes. Okay. So Ali perhaps...
Dele can play in that position. It's whether someone's going to be linking with him so he can drift in the box. But it's whether he's got his shooting boots on.
It is, isn't it? Perhaps he's just got enough power about him now to sort of brush off a lot of these defenders. We're not talking Premier League defenders. There's still going to be some big lumps at the back there to deal with. So let's see if he's up for the fight. Because I can imagine he's going to have to put himself about a little bit.
Because they're playing 5-3-2. They're going to be they're playing a deep unit. So we're going to have to really get on them.
They are playing two up front though. That's a good bit of adventure for them, I think. Could be looking at the typical sort of transitional play though. Who suddenly turns into a big midfield when they're attacking? You never know. Do they fancy it? Do they fancy it? Why not? Nothing to lose if you're Morecambe, is there?
Nah, yeah, it's a good day out for them. It's a great day out for their fans. A lot of money coming into the football club. It's a shame it's not on the telly for them, so they get a bit more telly money. But
yeah, indeed. It's one of those ones that could be just a nice feel good day for the FA Cup. Would you be okay with it if it's we're not really firing on all cylinders, but we scrape by and get the job done, or are you thinking we should be really putting them to the sword and showing, that we are Premiership quality, we're right at the top end sort of thing?
We should just be beating them, just first and foremost. We've really, really got to get over the Chelsea game, because that's a big game in midweek. We need to show that we are a quality side and we are a quality outfit. We just need to get through them. Absolutely.
Otherwise, I think we've finished our little roundup. Let's see, there's a few more chats to get through quickly. Alex saying, yeah, Galini is good in goal, but he should go in the midfield. This is from this ridiculous chat we had the other night, isn't it? We got Alex picking Danny Kiriaku's team all-time 11 because Danny couldn't get his mic working, so he did Alex to choose for him as a joke, and he came up with a belter of a team. We had Galini and Lloris in central midfield because their distribution was great. It was funny.
That kid needs something to calm down those hormones. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Premier Hotspur TV. Couvrot will come on one day and talk about it. We'll be happy to discuss it. And even my local team, Fleetwood Academy, is very good as well. They just sold their young defender in James Hill to Bournemouth. That's an interesting one. Yeah, we'd love to have you on this. I love talking about all this sort of stuff behind the scenes at clubs, lower division stuff as well. So it's fascinating when you compare it with how it goes on at the larger clubs. talking about Fleetwood would be a bit of fun, wouldn't it, Ben?
They've had some brilliant players through the years. I mean, Jamie Vardy himself is like, he came through that Fleetwood Academy, and he's shown that academy is a brilliant academy, and they've made some top players there. It's whether they can rise through the ranks without selling too many of them. I mean, but it'd be brilliant if we start talking about all the academies in the Football League, talking about the football pyramid, because the football pyramid has come under a lot of attack from our big bollock billionaire owners that are trying to ruin the Football League. So we really need to push these guys and show that our grassroots football in this country is the best it's ever been, because it is the best it's ever been. And we need to we've got to really push these guys forward and bring football back.
Yeah, definitely. Alex saying, can't wait for Hill. Yeah, I agree. John Fitzpatrick, good of you to join us, mate. We're about to wrap up in a minute, actually, because we're going to want to get all prepared for the match soon and people's watch-alongs. I'm not sure if we're doing one at this rate, because no sign of either Phil or Dermot so far today.
I will probably not join. I'm probably going to get a McDonald's. I'm starving.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. So just take it easy, do a chill out for the match, I think. Alex saying, my local team sold their main striker for 1.5 million to Cardiff and is on loan back to MK Dons, age 21, and scored like 20 goals in 15 games. That's amazing. Who's that? Who's that?
I mean, in my school of King Solomon, we had a lad called Jack Payne, and he's done quite well. He played for Huddersfield, even played against Tottenham, which was because as much as I really liked him, because he was a good lad in school, a bit of a naughty twat, but he's a lovely bloke. But if I saw whoever it was at the time clatter him, I wasn't going to be cheering for him. So clatter him.
Of course. Premier Hospital TV saying, yes, Jamie Vardy, a legend of the club here at Fleetwood. Yeah, of course he would be.
Brilliant footballer. Absolutely. It's a shame we never got him when Leicester started to dip. We should have bought him when he was being touted for a 30 million move to Arsenal. We should have tried to have him. But he hates Tottenham, so he was never going to come to us, unfortunately.
From my dad, my dad being a Londoner, evacuated to Herefordshire during the wartime. And so he picked up an affinity for the club Hereford United, as it was back then.
Now it's just Hereford.
Yeah, and we've got friends who are mad Hereford supporters, and they always get a big kick out about seeing their ex-players going on to star at higher levels up the league, because it's something that just lives on with you when you support in the lower level leagues. It's you look at the pinnacle of your players that have moved on and say, yeah, they used to play for us. It's a nice bit of nostalgia and a reminder of the sort of caliber that you have had at some point.
But it brings buzz to the community, and people think, oh, might want to play it like a Hereford or a Southend United or a Bournemouth.
Absolutely.
Those players eventually get into the team, and then the team rises through the pyramid.
John's asking if the match is on TV.
Not in the UK. Not in the UK.
I think in the States you can get it on. I forgot what channel it is. I heard somebody mention Premier Sports.
Yeah, that's in Ireland.
I also heard somebody say something about BBC Red Button.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't check that out. I haven't had time yet, but I think it was mentioned on Irish Hotspur. One of the people in the comments said something like that. Definitely worth checking out. I suppose it's FA Cup, so it may well be. They may well have something where you can switch between a few games.
Well, it means I might not go to McDonald's then if I can get the game up.
Home delivery, mate. That's all I'll say.
Not kosher, mate. Can't have it in my house.
All right. Okay, of course. Of course.
It's a real problem.
They need a kosher McDonald's, don't they?
There is one in Tel Aviv Airport, and it's the best thing ever.
Really? Yeah. Would love to go over there at some point. It's just awesome place to go. Yeah, I think we're going to... Max Waters is Alex saying. Premier Hotspur, Leicester got Vardy for 1 million. What a bargain, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But it's a lot of money for Fleetwood, though. Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's a brilliant amount of money. That would keep the club going for another 5 or 6 years, that £1 million.
Hotspurious is saying ESPN Plus if you're in the USA.
Good to know.
there's some channels around, obviously. Then, right, that's good. I think we'll wrap it up there, Ben. We'll
sounds like an
gives
idea.
us all plenty of time to get ready for the match. Then,
let's go.
So we won't be doing a watch along this time, but I'm sure we will be in the future. Until that, we'll do a little match roundup later on this evening. I think about 7:30 we were aiming at. We're going to do a review of the day's game and a few other talking points in our usual sort of relaxed style. And hopefully we'll see Phil and Dermot back then as well. Are you going to be around for that one as well, Ben?
On the Chelsea game?
No, just a 7:30 tonight. We're just
I should be around. See what I'm doing later.
Yeah, okay. No problem. We should be around somewhere around. If you're there, mate.
If I'm there, I'm there.
Absolutely. Until then, wait, couple more to go. Great show, guys, from Premier. Thank you, mate. And Alex, will there be a lot watch along? Just saying no, but not this time, mate. But we will probably be doing it for the second leg against Chelsea at least. If we can bear it. If we go 1-0 down in that, I think we'll just pull the plug and walk off.
Well, I'm going to that game, so I might do a live watch along from the station, just because we'll be fucking bored. Actually, don't even think that. I don't think that's legal, by the way. I don't think you can do that.
No, probably not. No,
I'd have to have my cam hidden.
Yeah. If we go 1-0 down in that, I'll swear I'm off supporting Fleetwood as well. But there we go anyway. Right, okay, thank you for joining us all. Pleasure to see so many people on on such an impromptu stream as well. There's plenty of people doing the build-ups at the moment, so very grateful to come and join us. And we will see you later.
Have a good day.